Okay, so continuing on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other four, well, the other three curtain walls and match them to that pretty quickly using this one as a reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select all those and isolate them so it's a little bit easier to read them all without the different floor slabs in the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select these grids. Now, obviously, the easiest way would probably be to like mirror this one to do that one, and then set this one up, or rotate this over. You know, do a rotate copy, and rotate it that way, and then pull it into where I want it to be. But I can do it this way, just the same, to kind of show you this is an option. But so basically, what I'm doing is I'm just selecting all these grids for the horizontal mullions, so I can move them. So I'm going to unpin all these, and then I know I need to add 2 more grid lines on each one. So I'm going to add one there, one down, and delete one. Oops. Delete one there. Add one there. A lot of times it's easier to put grids in using the interior mullions. Because you can see sometimes when I was trying to do it by the side, sometimes it wants to put it on this wall. That's already done. And what's this saying there? It's just because there's a new mullions going in, there's double, so it wants to delete one, so you can just always say to delete elements. And that one was the wrong one again. So now that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these mullions to align all these to it. So to do that, I'm going to come to the modify tool, and I'm going to do align, and I'm going to do multiple alignment. I'm going to check this multiple alignment option, so I can align all of them at kind of each row at once. So I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm just going to make sure that's aligned. Let me actually, before I do that, let me just move this up a little bit so it's out of the way, and I can align that one to it. And so again, I'm going to click that, align this, and making sure multiple alignment selected. So all those are aligned, and then I'm going to off click so it's not active anymore. Click this one. Click that grid, and then align this one to it. This one, and this one. Again, click off. So you kind of when you click off, it resets the selection. So now I can click, the new reference and align these to it. And then click off. I'm going to align the top. Click off and align this one. So you can see now, once I have one done, instead of having to retype in the dimension, I can just use the align tool to do it quickly. And then again, I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to like this kind of view, and I'm just going to highlight like this. Now, obviously, I'm grabbing the ones that I've already grabbed, but that doesn't matter because I can just, I'll be just basically doing it again for this, the solid panels. So I'm just going to check none. Do curtain wall panels, unpin all, and then you can see it says multiple types are selected because I have the solid ones selected and the glass one, but I'm making everything solid, so it doesn't matter if those are still selected, and then I can change it. So that's how when you have structure in your building, you can do a full curtain wall and then change it, as needed. Then add those kind of solid or spandrel panels, so you can hide that structure. And then I show this in the materials, but for the glass, you can click on the glass. And I show this in the material tutorials. But you can click on the glass, hit edit type, and you can change the glass material, which is here. And then you can come in and and I show this in material library, and you can change the glass material. But watch the material tutorial so you can be seen how you can find more glass to add more glass types to it. And then you can see this offset. I kind of talk about, I think, model in place tutorial. I forgot where exactly I talk about this exactly. But this offset, that 1 1/4, so that's, you can see it, this indentation right here. So that 1 1/4 offset, I believe, is from the center line of the window. So if I did 0 and hit apply, you can see how that window kind of moves back to the center. So that offset is kind of something that you want to take note of. Depending on, if you want your glass to be offset a little bit less, a little bit more. Then obviously you can change. And then another one is the thickness of the glass. Right now you can see that's a 1-inch thickness. But if you're using glass that's triple glazed with argon gas spaces, that may end up being maybe a 3-inch piece of glass that's a little bit thicker, and provides more ultraviolet protection and stuff like that. So you can see when I change that 3 inches, that's when it starts to see how it's kind of sticking out a little bit. So now that's when you got to go back in and update the offset so it's a little bit more kind of centered, or if you want it to be like a 1/2 inch from the edge, you can figure out the dimensions so you can get it a 1/2 inch from the edge. So that's kind of how you play with the glass, and you can change the glass size. The other thing that you always that you're probably going to want to do in a building like this is add doors, which a lot of people always are like, how do I add a door to a curtain wall? And it's actually quite simple. The first thing you want to do that people always forget to do when they do figure out how to add doors is they always forget to delete the mullion, for the bottom mullion for where the door is going to be. So like right now, I can select this glass and turn it into a door or glass door. But if I leave that mullion there, that you'd be tripping on the mullion. So what you want to do is wherever you're going to put a door, you want to select it and delete it out, delete that mullion out. So now it's a flat, a flat surface. And then if you come and click on that glass wall, you can unpin it, hit edit type and load. And then if you go to the door category, so these 3 doors right here are the only type of doors that you can bring in as a curtain wall panel. The rest of them, they won't come in as a curtain wall panel because they have to be brought in through the door tab. So if I try to click on one, I'll get an error message that says, it's not in the correct category. But when I click on the curtain wall, I can do double glass storefront or glass, and then a single glass. So this one's 8 feet wide, so I'm going to do a double storefront. And again, you can change its materials and anything like that. Its height and width are automatically come in space to whatever this dimension is. So sometimes you may not have a wide enough piece of glass for that, and you have to update it. You have to update the door, or I mean not update, but manipulate your mullion system so you could add that piece of glass in there. That's the appropriate size to fit either a double door or if it's a single door, to it. And I'll show that in a second. I'll put a single door in somewhere and fix, to show. I'm just trying to figure out why the handles didn't come in. Kind of weird that they didn't. Oh well, edit family. I'm gonna load in and the other one. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to do load family again, and door. I'm going to do just the regular double glass. And so that's what the double glass would look like. And then edit type. Again, you have that offset kind of like you did with the window. Its materials and everything like that are there as well. And then you can see this 90-degree angle that you're seeing here when you click on properties. And also in this property tab, you can click on, when you click on it, you can see what the actual width and heights of that will be. So that's where you can kind of measure, you know, what the door height would be and what width be to make sure that you actually have enough for the door. But going back to that angle, if I go to a floor plan, so you can see that it kind of gives you that kind of door detail to show the swing. But if I go back up to angle, you know, if I changed it to 45, it would update that. Or, you know, if I did it to 135, you know, so it would, obviously it doesn't change anything in 3D, but for plan wise, it'll start to change it. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a single door, and I'm going to update this so it will fit a single door. So right now this is an 8-foot wide, basically kind of, you know, 8-foot center line of the mullion. Obviously that's way too big for a single door. So what I got to do, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this bottom mullion out for now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave the bottom mullion in. I don't have to delete it right yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up so I can put a single piece of glass door in. So instead of doing the whole segment for a curtain grid, I'm just going to do one. And I'm going to do from here, I'm going to put it in like that. And then say I only want this door to be, you know, 3 feet. So now I can, and then the other thing you can do too, like this is 8 feet high, I believe. Yeah, so right around 8 feet. But if you had something that was like a 12 feet high, obviously you probably wouldn't have a 12-foot door. So you'd probably want to do another one that would have, you know, either just over the door itself, or most likely they'd probably do one on both sides. So it matches. And actually, you see how I did that grid line, but it wanted to delete. What I can just do is click on that grid line now, and just add that there, so that mullion comes in. And then what I can do is I can actually delete this. So tab to the grid line, and then remove that. So you could do something like that for the door. If you know your height here, this would probably be, you know, 1 foot. So I could get a 7-foot door, or close to a 7-foot door. But for this one, 8-foot height isn't, you know, abnormal. You know, that's something that could be done. This is more for like if you had a 12-foot, you know, ceiling to ceiling or something like that, that you would want to do. You know, that's where that would come into play. Then here you could take out this mullion, but obviously you would leave that one in because it's still the glass there. And then I tab to this panel, edit its type, and load in the single glass door, curtain wall single glass, and then you see the door there that comes in, you know, the single glass door. And then, you know, again, you can go to Revit City and try to find something like that you can use. So that's it for this tutorial. I'll continue on in the next video.